Have you ever wondered if you are a channel or if you could learn to be a channel? Today, I want to share with you how you might be a channel already and not know it, and about all of the different ways that we actually can tap into the world of channeling and harness that energy and use it for the good in our lives. I'm Waxéla Sananda. Thank you for joining me today. First of all, what is channeling? So for me, channeling is opening up to energies or ideas or could even be beings that are not necessarily from your conscious local mind, and allowing information to come in you and come through you in order to gain a greater understanding of something, to get a download, to open up to all kinds of possibilities. People who have made leaps and bounds in science and engineering are oftentimes channeling information, whether from a higher source or another being or a higher aspect of themselves. I've been channeling and aware that I've been channeling for much of my adult life, but a lot of people are channeling and don't even realize that they're doing it. And so I'm going to give you some of the examples of the different types of channeling and how you might be channeling and not even realizing it. For starters, there's the traditional type of channeling where someone channels a spirit or a being of a certain name, or it could even be a deceased loved one, but where somebody is channeling a specific other entity and they know who that entity is. Examples of this are Abraham by Esther Hicks, Bashar, channeled by Daryl Anka, The Guides by Paul Selig. There are many, many, many. Seth by Jane Roberts. If you go back a little farther, there are so many people that channel entities, and these are kind of the most well-known because they are on the media and they've written books, and so we can read them, and it's really good material a lot of the time. And then, of course, there are people that channel galactics, myself included, where you can bring in galactic energies, galactic frequencies, sometimes from specific beings. Bashar, I guess, is a galactic, and maybe you could even think of Abraham as somewhat of a galactic. Then there are people that have contact with, we'll say, the Arcturians or the Syrians or the Pleiadians, and they're channeling them, and they'll say, this is a specific transmission from this race of beings. So those are galactic channels. And then also in the realm of galactic channels, you can bring through light language. Light language is a type of channeling from the galactic realms. And I would even say speaking in tongues is a type of channeling as well. Now, you can also channel energies. For instance, if you're trained in Reiki or any form of energy work, you're using your hands, you're tapping into a source of energy that is a healing source, and you're allowing that to come into your body and come through your hands. And then you're either laying your hands on the person or over the person, or sometimes distance healing. So you're sending that energy. That is a type of energy channeling. So it doesn't always have to come out in sounds or words. It can also come out in energetic expressions through your hands, through your eyes. And I know myself and a lot of spiritual teachers talk about channeling through your eyes. When you're channeling light, you can help someone have an experience or an upgrade just by channeling light through your eyes. And you might do that naturally anyway, not even realizing you've been channeling. You're channeling divine energy. We're all tapped into a soul collective. And so something I like to do just for myself in my own meditations is channel my soul collective or my soul family. And this is where my consciousness sort of goes up and expands out beyond my personal consciousness. I tap into this soul collective that I'm connected to, and then I can pull from this collective. So imagine, you have your own mind, but imagine if your mind is connected to a soul family or collective of 144,000 other souls. Some are probably on the physical plane, some are non-physical, most would be non-physical. And you're tapping into not only those 144,000, but also all of their experiences of being. So that's a lot of information that you can pull from. And so a lot of times if I'm looking for a solution or an understanding of something, or really want to download and understand a concept or have an expansion of consciousness in some way, Then I might meditate and tap into my soul family. And then I can work with all of the information that's available to me from much greater than just one perspective. This is also part of channeling your higher self. And I feel like channeling my higher self is probably the most comfortable and easiest way to channel, because it's when I sort of let my conscious mind sit back, or like move sort of back in presence in my mental space, and then I open up to my own higher connection to the divine and my own higher self, and let that come through. And then sort of the next level of that is channeling the divine itself, or channeling the I am presence, which is also part of the higher self, but I would say an expanded version of the high self is the I am presence, which is pure presence, pure divine light. And sometimes that transmission will come with words, and sometimes not. Sometimes it just is an energy that is present, and it doesn't require words. And so these are some of the types of channeling that are available. Other things that you can actually channel deceased loved ones. That would be in the realm of mediumship. You could channel pets, deceased or alive. You know, a lot of times I'll look at one of my cats and say, gosh, I wonder what they're thinking. And then sometimes I get a clear knowing of what they're thinking. Or my one cat, Peachy, he sometimes will look at me, and I will hear words. I will hear like English words in my head, and I know what he wants. And it's really cool because he knows how to communicate with me in a way that he's basically channeling his consciousness into my mind so that I can pick up what he wants and then give him what he's looking for, whether it's food or he wants to play or, whatever. So these are other ways that this can come in handy. You can channel whole collectives of beings, including animals. Maybe you want to talk to the sharks, channel the sharks. And before I get in the Gulf or in the ocean, oftentimes I will do that. I'll be like, you know what? I'm here. I respect you. I'm not food. And so let's just keep our distance. And you can also channel anything that might be in the ocean, anything that might be on the land. You can channel the plants, you can channel the trees. I've done a whole tree channeling on more than one occasion. This is a way, I'm just looking for ways to help you expand your understanding of channeling. And oftentimes when we'll say you're walking in a crowd of people, or maybe you're in the grocery store and you kind of hear a thought in your mind, but you don't feel like it's yours. A lot of times you might be picking up telepathically what somebody else is thinking. And this is also a type of channeling. In this case, you're not consciously doing it, but you can also consciously tap into what somebody else might be thinking or feeling. And I would just say any of these things that you do, especially one with another person who's alive, make sure you're doing it in integrity, in alignment. Don't invade somebody's space. Don't tap into somebody's mental space if you don't have their permission, if you're not intentionally meditating with them, or if they haven't asked you to, because that can be an infringement. And just like you wouldn't walk into somebody's house that you don't know, you also don't want to walk into their mental or consciousness space without being invited. So use integrity. Don't do that unless you're invited, or unless it's clear that they're asking you to. Also, sometimes you'll pick these things up, thoughts, ideas from people without meaning to, sort of accidentally. In that case, just ascertain, is this something I need to act on, or am I just receiving this information? You might want to set up boundaries. And if you're like me, I used to, and still do, pick up a lot of energies in my environment. And so I had to create boundaries around that. And I also had to create boundaries around the galactics and the energetic beings that will come to me, because I don't want them in my space all the time. I don't want to be channeling all the time. I want to be in my own sovereign space and know clearly who I am. And so there are techniques that you can do to sort of buffer and protect your own energy field so you're not too permeable. Because once you start channeling and you're seen as sort of like an open door or an open window for galactic presence or deceased loved ones or guides or whatever it is, then sometimes there will be beings that don't respect your space. And it's very important to set up boundaries. One of the ways that I do that is I put myself in a bubble, an imaginary, light bubble of light. I imagine that around my body, around my energy field. And then I will make it very clear that only my thoughts, feelings, and experiences belong in this bubble. And I can expand and contract that at will. So if I'm going into a convention center and I'm going to be around tons of people and bright lights and lots and lots and lots of information and activity, a lot of times I feel it necessary to put a bubble around myself so I'm not just bombarded with energy. I can get really off-centered or misaligned if I allow myself to go in with total unprotection. And also, a good time to use this is if you're going into meditation or going to sleep at night too, and you want to protect your field because you don't want to just be open to everything that's out there, and you set your intention, here's what I want to connect with or who I'd like to connect with, and then I only allow that or something higher to communicate with me and to permeate my field. And also when you go to sleep at night, I think it's very important, especially if you're open and you're open to channeling, you're open to have energies come. If you're lucid dreaming or going out of body, you really want to have protections around your body so that you feel like you're in a safe place and you can sleep soundly then. One of the ways that I still do this every single night, I sleep with my Elky One sphere next to me. And I actually had an experience the other night of someone coming into my room in their astral body and coming in and sort of hovering over my bed. And it really freaked me out. I woke up, I was like, get out of here. And then I sleep with my Elky One. So I just put my hand on my Elky One and said, help me protect my space and clear this room, anything that's foreign or not invited here. And instantly that happened, and I felt protected and calmed down and went back to sleep. You can do that without Elky One. I just really like having that extra, that's its job. Like, it will protect you. It's that extra layer of protection. So I love sleeping with it. Elky One doesn't need to be cleared. I love that about it. It doesn't soak up bad vibes or anything like that. It just emits photon light. Just put yourself in that energetic bubble. Practice your visualization and practice intentionally connecting with beings that you might want to work with consciously, or energies that you might desire to work with and channel. And I'd love to hear how it goes. So let me know in the comments. Are you open to channeling? Have you experienced some of these things? And tell me about what it is that you're experiencing. And also, how do you protect yourself? Or do you protect yourself? Do you feel the need to do that? And I will end there today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Waxéla Sananda. I love you. I cherish you. Namaste.